I can't believe Sterling's injured. Every single game, somebody new is injured. I can't do this anymore. I can't. It's every day. Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for your West Ham versus Chelsea preview. Another big game, and of course, this preview is the Chelsea side of things. Chelsea side of town. I've already gone away from home myself. I've already gone into Lawless's neck of the woods. If you haven't seen that Opposition Insight preview, I went to Stratford, we played pool, 8-ball pool in a pub, and it was a different type of preview. It was a fun one to talk to Lawless in person and get that insight. London Club's Carnage, you know him from there. The Toby Rattler, as they call him in the comments. That preview's already up from this morning. Check it out if you haven't already. Now for this one, like I said, I will be delving more into my side of things for Chelsea, my opinions coming into the match. We need to win. I don't need to tell you it's W settings only. I said it against Fulham, we didn't catch it. Now, we have 3 clean sheets in a row. We have only conceded 21 goals in 21 games, which is the same as Manchester City, but they've scored over double the goals. So defensively in the last 3 games, 3 clean sheets in a row. So that is a positive. Badiashile's come into that team. He's been immense. He's been calm. He's been composed. He's been rock solid. He's been dominant with his aerial duels next to Thiago Silva. Kepa has the highest save percentage in the league. He's 7 clean sheets this season. It doesn't stack up too poorly, but we don't score enough goals. So defensively now we have the foundations. We're starting to build the foundations in this back four. Reece James is coming back in. Chilwell is coming in for a very much needed competition for an out of form Cucurella. But, against Fulham, we missed some chances and we're not clinical enough. We're not taking our chances and we're not winning games. We draw 0-0 against Liverpool. We should have won that. We drew 0-0 against Fulham. We should have scored goals and won that. Now, for me personally, I've got some very, very strong opinions coming into this game now. I've seen so much. We're over halfway through the season. Potter, you've had a whole week. You've had a whole ass week to prepare. More than you can believe. More than you can believe, guys. We've had a whole last week. There is no excuse. West Ham are having an awful season. Now, in terms of our recent record there, it's not going to be an easy game. We've lost 2 out of our last 3 at Olympic Park. But I don't care. I don't care, guys. We need to win the game. West Ham, this is as bad as I've ever seen them. They're basically in a relegation fight. Yes, they got a draw at Newcastle last week, but overall, the landscape is that West Ham have not clicked. They haven't been playing great, and they're struggling to get the best out of their more technical players that they've signed this season under a David Moyes. A David Moyes that could have easily been sacked by now. They are in their worst position. We're not coming up against a West Ham that have got to the Europa League semi-final, a West Ham that's in the top 6, top 7. We're coming up against a relegation dogfight West Ham. And at home, they're going to turn up. At home, they're going to be lively. The bubbles will be blowing, but I don't care, guys. I don't care. We have to win the game. It's about time we start putting W's on the board. People are talking about long-term ambitions in terms of, for this season at least, what are we going to qualify European-wise? I just want to win a game. I just want to win 2 games maybe in a row. Walk before we can run. And today is the day I demand. Against West Ham is the time to start walking. We got Felix back from suspension. Like I said, Reece James and Chilwell back coming into that defence. We've got players coming back. Now, we have a long list of injuries. I'm not going to go through all of them because I've got a scroll bar for that. You can read along the scroll bars. We always leave with the quotes from the press conference and the injuries. There's a long list of absentees. There's some players that are just coming back into team training that are not in contention to start. There are some players that are not ready for 90 minutes. And there's some players that are just flat out injured. But I kid you not, the team that we're going to be able to put out, the team that we will put out will be strong enough for us to believe we should be winning this match. And Felix coming back is a massive part of that confidence for me as well. Because I think in those 60 minutes that he played against Fulham, I like what I saw. I think a lot of us did. Hey, I even got the shirt. Mainly because I'm just maybe a Felix fanatic and I'm just so happy to have him at the club and I like the player back from Benfica days. But that little cheeky nutmeg in the first minute, it was wonderful to see at Craven Cottage and we need more of it. So, in terms of the team, for me the defence is so easy right now. Now, it depends on Chilwell's fitness as to whether he starts. I'd love to see Chilwell come in for Cucurella. I think Cucurella going forward this season has been so poor. I'm yet to see from him. Now, he's had some personal issues, we've mentioned that. But I'm yet to see an overlapping run. I'm yet to see an underlapping run. I'm yet to see a completed cross. I need more from Cucurella if he's going to be playing at left back. He's making us extremely limited. He's making us extremely one-dimensional in terms of our build-up play. And he's making us extremely, extremely poor going forward on that left wing. And I feel like that left winger will suffer. They will suffer, like Conte says, if they don't have a fullback that can give them some sort of help in that regard. You know, they're going to get doubled up on that side potentially. If the work rate is right on the right, from the right winger of West Ham, probably maybe Bowen. And then what do you do? If you don't have an overlapping or underlapping fullback, we've seen it with Manchester City. We've seen it with Manchester City, a team that I've told you have scored over double the goals we have scored this season. But defensively, we match up both with 21 goals conceded in 21 games. And even their attack, we look at them and they say, right, there's no overlapping fullback at times with Ake or with Laporte. On the right-hand side, it's been Rico Lewis. There's no overlaps. So maybe that's why Grealish and Mahrez are struggling, or maybe they're just not got the pace to... But we have that in Mudryk on the left wing. And I know he came off at half-time in the last game due to a cold. He's got blistering pace. He's working his ass off in the gym. He should be able to take people 1v1 and hopefully take them apart. But he's just come into the league and he needs help from that left back. And that is something that Chilwell, if he starts this game, will provide. When I do put him in the starting 11, for me personally, I will put an asterisk next to him because I don't know his current fitness levels. I don't want to just have him dashed in if he's not ready and he's not completely ready to start. I don't want him to be injured again. But I would like to see him start if he is passed by the medics and called to start. I'm very, very conscious of that. Same with Reece James, asterisk next to him. I want him to start. I'll have him in my starting 11 because he's not injured. He is in contention to play. He's ready for 90 minutes. But I will have that asterisk there. Or at least bring him off on 60, etc. But we need to start overlapping on that left-hand side. Chilwell's, he's been very good for us going forward. He's contributed with goals. He learned that wing-back role. If anything, that wing-back role taught him a little bit more the attacking side of the game. And that's helped massively. So for me, that's crucial. That left-hand side, I need to see much more from there. Obviously, the centre-backs are cool. Kepa's cool at the moment. I still don't think this is a moment where I'm going to take Kepa and say, oh, right, this is our new number one for net. No. I think Kepa and Mendy right now, the battle is between who stays at the club to be in second place to a new, hopefully, top tier, undisputed goalkeeper who can do it all. Cross collection, sweeper keeper, do the whole lot. We don't want to have to pick and choose the attributes. We want it all. But I think they're fighting for second place. And I think obviously from a money standpoint, from a financial standpoint, it's easy to have Mendy as a second place because his contract is far lower than Kepa's, but he's currently in a contract dispute to put his wages up anyway because he feels like he's earning far too less. And I can understand that considering the contribution. So Kepa in goal, the back four, as I said, that's my back four, asterisk next to the fullbacks. Now in midfield, this is where the first point comes in. I didn't like Enzo playing in the 6 against Fulham. Now, in a couple of instances, you can see where he's not quite in the right position to pick up the ball off the centre-back. Sometimes he actually moves back into the back to make it a back three almost. He kind of moves in between the centre-backs where maybe he should step a little bit further forward and create that triangle. Maybe that's part and parcel with him learning that role. Because at Benfica, like I said, he's been playing next to a sitter and he is still involved in the first phase, 100%. That is what an 8 should do. That is what a player next to a sitter should do. They should definitely be involved in the first phase. Get in there as he will and pick up the ball. But I want him to have the opportunity and the license to move into the second and third phase without having to worry about being the primary sitter, because that's not what he should be. And I'm going to deploy Trevor Chalobah today in that primary sitting position. We saw him come on against Watford, I think, last season and play that role. I think then he picked up an injury and went off. I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect. I haven't seen Trevor enough play this role. He did play it at times on loan when he was in France at Lorient. He played centre-back as well. He's played right back. He shows versatility. But I just want to know that your job strictly is to sit, to win the ball and to pass it simple. If you want to play a diagonal, go for it. But your primary job, Trevor, is to sit in this game, to marshal in front of the defence. You can even step into the back three because you're actually a centre-back. So you're more than used to playing at centre-back instead of Enzo doing it. And I want Enzo to be more closer to the goal. We saw that long shot that he showed. He's got quality there. We saw it at the World Cup, that first goal that he scored. I want him to be on the end of things in terms of, I want him to be in the first phase, second phase and third phase. I want him to have the freedom to be involved in everything, to kind of try and dictate the tempo of the game, to try and take control, to make those 1-2s, to have the license to connect with Felix and be closer to these players, because against Fulham, everything was too disjointed. I want Enzo to be playing the final pass, to be playing those long passes, but also on the edge of the area. If we pass the ball to Enzo, he's got the option to shoot from distance, which is fantastic, which we don't have in midfield at the moment enough of. And he's got the option to make that cutting edge pass that will hopefully create a massive chance for us to score. That is the key here in why Enzo, for me, needs to be high up the pitch. Now, he'll play next to Trevor in that 2. And then Felix for me in the 10. Felix back in the 10, Felix back on the pitch starting. He was good against Fulham. He showed signs of quality, technical, you know, good 1-2s, lovely bits of skill. And I want to see him in the team against West Ham, give him that role. And I want Mudryk on the left. And I want either Sterling or Madueke on the right. Now, the reason why I'd say I don't really mind which one is because... Whoa. Slow down there, doggy. Where you going, buddy? Buddy, old boy. This is the part of the video where you forget that Raheem Sterling is injured and you persist to say that him versus Madueke is a interesting complex on the right wing. Well, joke's on you, dickhead. Sterling's injured. So Madueke is my starter. You have wasted your time. You look like a fool now with your starting 11, but it's okay. Editor's going to fix that. Dumb. And yeah, there's no explanation. There's no complication. There's no anticipation. My brother, Madueke is the only fit, committed right wing. Now, of course, you could go Ziyech, but listen, let's just go with Madueke. He had a good game coming off the bench the other day against Fulham, and Sterling's out. Now, a bit of experience would have been nice, but unfortunately, another Chelsea player has gone down injured without our knowing. So hard to keep up these days, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? As our preview person couldn't even do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Look at him, floundering the clown. All right, back to the video, donkey. So we've got a striker in Fofana who's going to press, who's going to hopefully give us a goal. He rounded the keeper well and they couldn't finish against Fulham. We go again. And then we've got the creation, plenty of chance creation behind him. We've got dribblers, we've got speed, we've got eye for a pass, we've got beautiful things. And the only reason why I throw Sterling in there is just to give you a bit of experience. But if Madueke starts, I have no problem. I'm gonna say just purely just to kind of give us a bit of balance in the team, I'm gonna go over Sterling. And then Madueke, I think he looked really good when he came on off the bench in the last game. If he starts as well, it's no problem. Either or, Reece James could be overlapping or underlapping. He's just as good either way. If it's Sterling on the right, he might want to hug the touchline and isolate people out on the wing. Reece James can come inside and take those shots. And he's a great shooter. We've seen that before. Great goal against Arsenal, etc. If it's Madueke, he'll cut inside and Reece James will overlap. Now, I'm going with Fofana because Kai Havertz missed one too many chances against Fulham. Some of them weren't easy chances. They weren't all easy chances. I don't think all chances are equal. They shouldn't be. That's why you have XG. You know, one of them was a lob, I believe, that hit the bar. One of them was offside. But for me now, it's time to give Fofana a go up there and to try and see if we can get some goals from our striker because it's been far too inconsistent with Kai for too long. I'm making big drops here. I'm dropping Gallagher. I'm taking out Mount and I'm taking out Kai. I'm making big changes, absolutely massive changes, people, because I'm not playing anymore. And I think these players need to be on the bench, especially Mason Mount. Not because he's been, catastrophic. I think everybody's been pretty poor, including him. But I believe for his own mental health now, and this is very serious, the amount of heat that he's getting online, which is now crossing lines for me, right? I've said before, I've mainly muted people that I feel cross the line on Twitter, but I've seen some disgusting things now. I really have. And I do believe that, yes, when there's heat for other players, yes, we have to talk about it. Pulisic, when he got his social media, Instagram, people were getting onto him about that. I said, just ignore it. Jorginho, we know he's been booed in stadiums, etc. He's now at Arsenal. Don't ignore it. But Mason Mount now is also getting a lot of heat as well. I'm taking him out of the team. I've been trying to say that he should come out of the team for weeks. He's not playing well. He's low on confidence. And I believe that personally, this could be getting to him as well, what's going on, online. So just take him out of the team. Take him out of the team. You've got Felix now. There's no excuse for it. He doesn't need to be playing every single game. We're not winning anyway at the moment. Take him out of the team. Take him out of the firing line. Let him sit on the bench, relax, compose, calm, and let's get back to coaching and getting this player back up to speed. Potentially towards the end of the season, he can fight for his place. So that's my team. Let me know what your team is in the comments down below. Like I said, 2 defeats out of the last 3 here at Olympic Park. It ain't easy. It ain't easy, guys. But we need to win the game. We absolutely need to win the game. West Ham are going to probably set up in maybe a 4-2-3-1. You've got Bowen. You've got potentially Ben Rama. You've got probably Antonio because I think Scamacca is doubtful. You've got Declan Rice in there, Paqueta in the midfield. It's a good team. It's a team that if they put it together, they got some injuries to Zuma. Like I said, that will be along the bottom as well. Cornet. But they're a good team. And if they play at their optimum, they can give us problems. They will give us problems. They have quality players. Emerson Palmieri as well, from a former Chelsea player. But I don't care. care. We are and should be clear in terms of what we have on that pitch that I've just named out, in terms of that team, and in terms of the quality that we have in this club, and coming off the bench. We know that bench is going to be a threat. We saw it in the last game. The players that we were able to bring on was ridiculous against Fulham. So that's my team. My score prediction as well. I'm gonna give you a good 3-1 Chelsea. I'm pushing this. I'm pushing this out into the atmosphere. We need to win the game. I'm putting nothing but W's out into the atmosphere. Let me know what you think in the comments down below on my team, what your team would be. And like I said, check out that opposition insight preview if you haven't already. That was this morning. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace.